Hello, it's Andrew Eborn here on behalf of the Andrew Eborn Show. And during this extraordinary period, lots of people are locked down. And we've invited several of the regular guests to come and talk about how they have been coping. And I'm delighted to be joined again by actor and comedian and all-round good egg, Jonathan Hansler. How are you, Jonathan?
Well, a bad egg when my mind gets in the way, but yeah. But trying to be a good egg as much as possible. Yes.
Right. And it is, I mean, the amount of pressure, we're now into yet another lockdown. And we thought it'd be helpful to work out how people have been coping, because you've been locked down for several months now. Talk to me about that.
It's almost a year, entirely, well, not always alone, but pretty much alone for all that time. And many would say, "Oh my gosh, it's like a life, it's a prison sentence." I mean, if someone had said to me a year ago, "You're going to be in solitary confinement for a year," I would have said, "You lunatic," you know. And but what's been extraordinary, I think, is the amount of, I mean, YouTube is so full of meditation, and I think I've been meditating an awful lot, and I've sort of changed my life in a lot of different ways. I mean, there have been some really dark days and some horrible days, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through that, personal grief. And there are certain people who, as they say, done me wrong, and do you take retribution? Well, you can't very easily, so you have to kind of get on with life. But this is where the mind gets in the way all the time, so you have to find a way through that. And and of course now, 24th of January, I'll be 7 years dry. But being sober and living in reality in a world which is can be a bit like Groundhog Day, where every single day is almost a repeat of the day before, unless you start to change your life or see paths, or it can get very stagnant. So, meditation, I tend to meditate for about 3 hours every morning, or maybe 4, but I use guided meditations. Abraham Hicks, for example, is very helpful. Joe, and there's loads of
I
them.
mean, the Hicks method, for those who are unfamiliar, and there are lots of people who are struggling in their own way, and they have their own issues. I mean, you as you say, you found meditation helpful.
I think
Talk about the
everybody,
Hicks method. What's the
well,
Hicks?
I think everybody has, all the great teachers, as it were, all have a similar theme. And I found this interestingly, that, we come from source. We are a source energy. We come into this life from source. This is why people say we've been born before, or we've lived another life. I don't believe that we simply die, because I think that there's too much energy in us, in our bones, in our body. There's too much magic in this world. The universe is too magical for us just to sort of just be here for no other reason than just skin and bone. It's absolute no, I can't believe this. And in fact, every teacher talks like this, and it's quite interesting if you just go through Buddhists, or you go through. I don't want to have I'm not religious, yet I know there is a God within me, and a soul within me, and this is really, that is why when you say you got soul, it means you've got energy, you've got life, you've got vivacity, you've got spark, and it's very easy to have a dead soul, to have nothing, because most people are unaware that they have a soul. And that's what I've been kind of finding through the time that I've been. And the funny thing is when you let things happen, the universe offers wonderful things. I mean, at the moment, I think I've got about 7 different offers of jobs. Now, none of this is paid yet. I haven't got an ounce of money in my hand, but people are remembering me. People are coming back. I'm not trying to be on an ego trip here, Andrew, but I'm saying people are sort of, I don't know how, but things are coming to me in certain ways.
It's spotting that sort of positive stuff, but looking at the practical things. I mean, you talked about different methods, and as you say, there are different methods for meditation. And you mentioned Hicks, that you found particularly.
Abraham Hicks is great, because, well, she's someone who just really tells it how it is, and you can listen to any of her teachings on YouTube. But there's one particular one, which is a kind of a prayer. It's like a meditation you do in the morning. Every time she speaks, you breathe in and out after each meditation. So you kind of setting in your brain, your own brain, the pace of the breathing. And what you do is you breathe, basically, you breathe in, if you want abundance or whatever you want, the good things in life, and you let go of resistance. Because what the biggest problem we have in life is resistance. We are resistant to things. And when we're resistant to things, things can't come to us. Do you
And
know what I mean?
yeah, well, absolutely. So it's basically breathing out the bad and breathing in the
Yeah,
good.
breathing and breathing out of that is the resistance. So once we start to get rid of resistance, and resistance could be so many different things. It can be all the things, all the problems. You know me, I've certainly had difficulties in my past, and trying to sort of not forgive so much, but trying to just not let thoughts get in the way, because thoughts magnify. Thoughts can magnify a very small situation and turn it into something enormous. And you know, I'm no saint. Stuff is happening to me all the time. They come back at me, and I've had days very recently where it's been rough. But I know that I'm on a good path, if you know what I mean. And I don't think if I had been with somebody, I could have been this disciplined. I mean, it would have been very nice to have somebody with me for a year, you know, to be in a relationship or something lovely like that. But I don't think I could have had the discipline that I've been able to maintain in this time.
So it's really trying to find that sort of positive. And I think, as you say, it's getting rid of that negative thing. So in practical terms, if somebody wanted to start with this method, how do they find out about it?
They just simply go on YouTube, go look up Abraham Hicks, just go Abraham Hicks. There's so many. I'm actually, at the moment, I'm doing a course, which is completely free, called Real Summit. I think it's called Real Success. And that's on YouTube, that's on Facebook. But it's basically loads of people who do little talks, and then they try and sell themselves. It's like anything. They'll always try and sell you something. But these guys, at least they're selling good things. But you know, I've done too much of that stuff. I've learned, the great thing is you can learn all this stuff on YouTube. I've learned so much on YouTube since I've been doing, you know, in lockdown, you know. You know, my show has been cancelled. It will come back, but you know, we've spent a lot of money on that. But there's lots of things that you know that you need to be done, and we can take. There's this thing in this world of hurry all the time. We're always hurrying. Why are we hurrying when we could do things so much easier if we did it slower? And that means that we don't have to do every obstacle in front of us in a mass. We could actually do one a day. We could do one thing a day, and then maybe do one thing the next day, and then one thing the next day after that. You know, it could be that simple. But of course, we rush into things, as we always do, because the mind tells us to rush when it doesn't need to.
It is strange, isn't it? Because society would always say that there was a great accolade in being busy. People would say, look, how are you? I'm busy. And you sort of turn around. And I think now, in a sort of period when people have got a time to reflect, it is that time, if you like, to get rid of the negative thoughts and get the positive ones in. It's not necessarily
good. It's been an incredible time, Andrew. It's been an incredible time. And I think, you know, many people have said, you know, it's been awful, and it has been awful in times. There's no doubt it's been awful. But when you bear in mind what you're learning, where you're coming from. I mean, I'm starting to learn to want to do what I want to do more than what I have to do, or what I'm going to do a job for 100 quid because I'm going to feel miserable for a day, you know, for an 11-hour day, or 150, you know, because this is how much they pay on minimum as a performer on film. It's very low paid, you know. So the lucky jobs are the lucky jobs, you know. So you know, I'm being a bit careful about what I'm doing, and I'm just not doing anything anymore. If you want me, you're gonna, you know, I have a value. I've started to value who I am. And I think hopefully people will appreciate that in me as a human being, and say, oh, John won't do that. Well, there's a reason why he won't do that.
So
you know,
the positive takeaways, if you like, there are resources out there. People can look, and they are free resources to start with. People can find different methods for meditation. You found the particular Hicks method, which is available on YouTube.
Hicks, yeah, Hicks is great. I mean, there are many. There's a chap called Skip Archimedes who's into both body, mind, and spirit, which is not just mind; it's all of them, which is really helpful as well. Because he broke his back. And that people have said he never walked again, yet he did. He looks incredibly fit, and he's very strong, but he's learned so much, and he teaches on YouTube as well. I mean, YouTube is full of these people. You don't have to go to a course. It's all there for you. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Pick the bits that suit you, put them onto a daily routine, and I do that. I go onto my YouTube and I make my daily routine. I've probably got 45 different things on my day, but that gives me a variation in a daily routine, so I don't have to do the same things every single day. I'm going to do him today. I'll listen to them today. I'll have them today. And YouTube's got millions of these, so you could change your daily routine every single day to suit who you are. You don't have to rely on Abraham Hicks. She's just one type of teaching, but there are many different types of teaching that can help you.
Okay, very, very good. So the positive sort of takeaway from this is absolutely go out, have a look, find out what suits you, and you can try different methods, especially if they're free anyway. And I think,
Yeah.
and the other great thing as well is that people such as yourselves can come and talk about their own experience and having the courage to do that. A lot of people can find comfort, if you like, from seeing.
But courage is really important, Andrew. Courage is really important because I mean, certain things I'm not very courageous at. People say, "Oh, well, you know, you've owned up to your child abuse, and you've owned up to this, and you've owned up to that, and you've spoken on TV. That's incredibly brave." But well, I just see it as necessity rather than bravery. But what certain things I can't do. You know, I'm terrible at making, like, I can't. One of my issues is that I don't get things done in the day. I'm a procrastinator. My house is not a palace. It's you know, I don't want anyone coming here. I'm going to try and sell it soon, and I'm going to get a much smaller place so I can maintain better. You know, anybody who knows my house will know it ain't the Ritz. But then my life has not functioned in a way. And in a way, perhaps I'm not very materialistic, so I'm not concerned really about having all this. I'm more concerned with the mental health of people, the physicality, and trying to help people who need at this time, and we all do. We must take our glance or our eyes away from our material wealth and look into ourselves as human beings in order to survive.
Good.
You know, this is why there are so many monks on hillsides living in a hut.
Right.
You know, they're completely happy. They don't have millions of pounds. They've just got a hut and some books or something. That's it. Yeah. But it's that simplicity, you see, that makes it much stronger.
Yeah, and as you say, that this is the time to reevaluate what's really important in our lives. And well, Jonathan, thank you very much for coming to join me again. We will keep in touch, but stay safe, stay well, and keep us posted.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Cheers. Bye.